Hi, thanks for joining us here at UW Space Place for another Science Saturday. I just want to mention we'll have a virtual program again next Saturday, but then starting in June, we're going to be able to do in-person programs again. So if you check our website, spaceplace.org, we'll have dates posted up there and let you know when we're going to start with our in-person. So we're looking forward to seeing you here at Space Place once again. Today's activity, we're going to make a musical instrument called a membranophone. Now, you've probably never heard of that before. Kind of a weird name, membranophone. But I bet you've all used one. A drum is a good example of that. A drum is a cylinder with something stretched across the top, and we can call that a membrane. So a membrane is just a thin layer of a certain kind of material. And you know, with a drum, when you tap on the drum, it vibrates. It vibrates that membrane, and that's what creates a sound. So sound is really just vibration. So in order to make our membranophone, we're going to have something that vibrates. Now I've got two different kinds here to make. One is very simple. The sound isn't as great, and I'll show you how to make the second one, which is a little bit more difficult to make, not hard to do, but I think you'll like the sound a lot better on the second one, and we'll think about what the difference is between the two. So the first one I have here, all you need for it is a tube. I used a paper towel tube, an old paper towel tube, and a balloon. And what you do with the balloon is to just cut the top off. So you want to cut off the wide end, like this. So you're going to have two pieces here. So you've got the end of the balloon, the wide end of the balloon. And then on the other part of the balloon, you have the opening here, and the part that you blow into to blow up your balloon. Then with your paper towel tube, all you do is take it, stretch it across one end of your tube, and blow into it. So let's try it, see how it works. Makes a sound. I don't know if it's the greatest sound in the world, but it makes a sound there. So why does it make a sound? We stretch that balloon. So in this case, our membrane is the balloon that's going across the top of the paper towel tube. We blow into it. The air vibrates that balloon, vibrates the membrane. The sound comes out the other end here. And we're hearing those vibrations from the membrane here that's vibrating. Now, I used a paper towel tube, but you could try different tubes. You could try a toilet paper tube, an empty one, and see if that makes a different sound. So you can experiment a little bit with making sounds. If you've seen a flute has, it's kind of a tube like this that you blow into, but it has holes for your fingers to cover as you play the flute. So you could try putting holes in there and see what happens. All right, so that's one. Pretty simple one, easy to do, not a great sound. Our second one, I'll show you what it looks like finished here. So this is my second one, and I'll blow into this one, see if we like it a little bit better. I think it sounds better. So how do you make our second membranophone? What you need is a plastic bottle like this. So I used an empty water bottle. And what you're going to do with it is cut the top off. So I cut it about a third of the way down here and ended up with two pieces like this. So this piece we don't need. We can put that aside. Maybe we'll use it for another science activity someday. We've got this other piece that's left here. And I need a place to put my straw into it. So what I did was to take a hole punch, went partway down on my bottle here, and punched a hole in here. So that's where my straw is going to go into, right here where the hole is. All right, then the other thing is we need a membrane. We need something that's going to vibrate. So for this one, what I did was took a rubber glove like this. I cut the fingers off. I cut the thumb off. And then I opened it up a little bit, so I ended up with a membrane, a sheet of rubber that looks like this. So it's just kind of a square rectangular shape here that I'm going to use for my membrane. All right, so then what I'm going to do is take my bottle here that I cut the hole in, put a straw inside my hole so it fits in like that, and then I'm going to take my membrane and stretch it around the top of the bottle like this. And I want to get it as tight as I can. So I'm going to stretch it pretty, taut there. I want to get a good vibration. And then I'm going to take a rubber band. I've got kind of a big rubber band, so I'm going to double it over. And you just put the rubber band across the top here to hold the membrane down. Okay? So we've got our water bottle. We put the straw into the hole. We cut out our membrane from our glove. And then we're just going to put the rubber band over the top and stretch it as much as we can. All right, so we've got that part. Got our top part here. The other thing is you need a piece of construction paper. And what you're going to do with your construction paper is just roll it into a tube like this. You want to get it pretty tight because what you want to do is get it into the bottom of your bottle here. And when you put it into the bottle, it's going to expand a little bit. So, you don't have to tape it. You can just roll it up, stick it into the bottle, and it'll roll out a little bit and make a nice tight seal on there. All right, so then once you have your tube inside the end of the bottle, you want to push the tube in so that it's touching the membrane. So the key to this is to push it in far enough so that it touches the membrane here on the top. And I can actually see it pushed up a little bit here. So it's making a little bump here at the top where I've pushed the tube in. And then when I blow into it, let's think about what's happening. So the air is coming into this bottle. It doesn't have anywhere to go except for against this membrane. So when I blow into it, that air is pushing against the membrane, it's vibrating that, and then the sound is coming down my tube right here at the top. So when I blow into it, I can actually see the top, the membrane, rise up a little bit. And that leaves room for the air to go down the tube. And that's the sound that we're hearing. So let's try an experiment here. Let's change the size of our tube. I'm going to blow into it. I want you to try and remember what it sounds like. All right, now I'm going to cut it off a little bit. So let's make it a little bit shorter. All right, let's try it again. Can you hear a little bit of a change there? I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. So it's changing a little bit as I change the size of the tube. So again, with our other membranophone, I said the same thing. You can change the size of your tube. You can cut some holes here in the side if you want to. See if you can make something that looks maybe a little bit more like a flute. Maybe you want to experiment with different types of membranes to put on there. So maybe cut up a balloon, fit it on there, and see if that makes a different sound than the rubber glove does. What about paper? What if you put a piece of paper over there? Would that make a difference? So there are lots of different things that you can experiment with and try with your membranophone and see which one you think works the best. So again, please join us next week here at UW Space Place for another virtual program. And then keep checking our website or get on our email list, and we'll let you know when we start our in-person programs here again. We look forward to seeing you, and thanks for joining us today.